Украина заявляла и заявляет.
Ukraine has already stated and continues to state that we do not need mediators. We will move towards implementing our goals and tasks on our own. The highest military and political leadership of Ukraine has already announced Kyiv's peace plan. It is also sometimes called Volodymyr Zelenskyy's peace formula. The whole country is working on implementing this idea, working in the interests of this peace plan. No one in Ukrainian society doubts this document. This peace plan now has the full support not only in Ukraine, but also of the participating countries. The ideas that exist around Volodymyr Zelenskyy's peace plan, which by the way is the only elaborated systematic document. It is on everyone's desk thanks to Ukrainian diplomacy. There could be some attachments, a private sort of some kind, maybe a dissenting opinion. Please go ahead and attach them. We will consider all of this here in Kyiv, but it will be no more than something to take into consideration, because it is useless to talk to the strongest army in the world, which is Ukraine, in the language of ultimatums, and any papers that may result in failure to restore justice. Moreover, when this army, the largest army in the world, defends our common values of the European Union, and the struggle today is for the Union to expand. Do you realize the magnitude of this event? The anthem of the European Union, the ode to joy, is exactly about this, that we are all equal. If you are the same, then join us. And we are equal. We see it in relation to our refugees. Moreover, in Europe, very few people use the word refugee towards our people. They call it an internally displaced person, IDP. It sounds very different, and the attitude towards people from Ukraine is completely different, because everyone there is well aware of how many borders there are between EU and Ukraine. We are the closest country to European Union, the one that has to join it. In any case, this is a peace plan that Kyiv is proposing. Kyiv has such a view. Russia can enter into negotiations to modernize some specific points, but at the core, this is Kyiv's vision. That doesn't mean that just some person sat down and thought it up like, let me just add this clause to the sixth point. It means that it is a collective work of Ukrainian diplomacy, based on deep diplomatic experience, because Ukraine has really good experience in this, while Russia has very good experience in wars. And this is the difference between our country and Russia. We can share our experience of diplomacy with Russia after its decolonization, de-imperialization and denazification, after they all take a course that will tell them what a peace-loving country Ukrainian truly is, and how Russia is hostile towards its closest neighbors. And after the restoration of democracy in Russia, Putin's transit of power, after Maidan, which will most likely happen there too, and when the liberal democratic values restore. After the transit of power, of course, we will have a lot of work to do to restore democracy within the Russian Republic, in whatever form it may be there. And we are already thinking about this too. We are watching the needs of the audience. We see that the more people use VPNs, the more they watch the international broadcasting multimedia platform of Ukraine, and the more they trust independent sources. This is the most independent source in relation to Russia, because you and I were not connected in any way to Russian television, possibly in the years before the war. Here's what's interesting: we are not biased against the Russian track. We speak, as we do, the truth. Are they bombing us? We say that they are bombing us. Deporting children? We say they are deporting. Creating a humanitarian crisis in Kherson? Yes, they are. Bombing peaceful people and cities of Donbass? Yes, they do. Destroying our cities? Yes, they are destroying. We say it. They don't say that on their television. This is why the peace plan takes into account the whole broad context in which the Russian Federation exists today. They just need to open their eyes. Open their eyes and see that now is the 21st century, not the 19th. It is not even the 20th century. Everything that is happening here isn't Afghanistan, and it's not Israel neither. By the way, everything that's going on in Ukraine right now is in Ukraine. The military leadership of the country determines the security of our cities, and preparations for this began long before the invasion. Remember when Zelenskyy was appointed to his position. Remember when the first javelins arrived. The preparations were going on in such a stealthy track. The authorities were preparing for the inevitable, and this inevitable started. Although in Berlin, just in 2022, there was a meeting of the Minsk format, and there they were still discussing the modality and implementations of the Minsk protocol. Can you imagine this? And then all of a sudden Russia starts to attack and begins to behave more aggressively than before. Meanwhile, Ukraine was negotiating about the modalities of a fulfillment of the Minsk negotiation. We did not retreat from our idea of peace, neither in 2014 nor now in 2023.